Well, good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon. Hopefully, you're doing well and having a wonderful day here in wherever you are, actually. And hopefully, Lowry, can you still hear me in the green room there, my friend? I hope you can still. Okay. Because the show is a lot more interesting with our special guest today. But first of all, welcome to Conversations with Dune and Friends. Today we have a wonderful friend joining us. We have Lowry Olafson, all the way from beautiful British Columbia. In fact, the island of British Columbia. And we're going to talk about all kinds of things, but certainly music. We're going to talk about careers and inspiration and overcoming life challenges and to really tune into what inspires you. But let me do a quick introduction of our guest bio here so that you get a sense of who you'll be hearing from for the hour and a bit here. We might go a little bit longer today as well. And so grab your favorite coffee, folks, or tea or whatever beverage, and we'll get into the conversation here. Join us in the comments section. Feel free to chime in and cheer him on and ask him questions. Lowry Olafson is a Canadian performer, songwriter, and motivational speaker who has toured the globe and released 9 albums on his own independent label, River Records. Staying true to his own path over the past 30 years, Lowry has built a loyal following on 3 continents by writing songs that nourish their heart and inspire listeners to a greater sense of possibility. Inspiring people to listen to their longings and discover their greatness is a thread that has begun through Lowry's life's work. His musical keynote, It's Your Life, Make It Sing, weaves songs and stories into an uplifting and sometimes hilarious journey that connects audiences to a deeper sense of meaning and joy. PowerSongs. Along with his speaking and performing careers, Lowry has carved out a unique niche, writing power songs and with organizations and individuals, facilitating a collaborative songwriting process as a tool to help them thrive in challenging times. So far, he's written nearly 500 songs, folks, 500 songs with more than 10,000 people, most of whom have never written a song before. Lowry lives on the ocean, on BC's beautiful Sunshine Coast, and he loves to row and laugh and sing at every opportunity. So, folks, with that wonderful introduction, please help me in welcoming our guest today, Lowry Olafson. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing very well, thanks, Dune. It's a beautiful day.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Even over here, it's a little bit overcast, but I find overcast weather very peaceful. So I'm guessing I might like Vancouver as well, but most days. But great. We have sunshine over there. We have sunshine over here. We're ready to rock, my friend.
We are indeed. Yep, that's
wonderful.
For sure.
Yeah. So fill us in a little bit, Lowry. Beyond the bio, tell us maybe the backstory of what got you here today. You've been through a lot of different things. Give us a bit of a backstory.
Well, I guess, I've been a musician or music's been my passion since I was a kid. My mom was a piano teacher. My dad played saxophone, not professionally, but we had sing-alongs all the time. All the kids played instruments. Mm-hmm. But I was the youngest and the one that was, kind of the most interested, I guess. So, took piano lessons and switched to violin, started playing guitar when I was young, started writing songs when I was maybe 11. Mm-hmm. And then, really decided that that's what I wanted to do with my life. But my dad advised me against it. He said, it's great that you like music, Lowry, but not much of a way to make a living. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of pursued it in a pretty half-hearted way. I would perform and I would write songs and I'd play, but I think I really played it safe. I didn't. I was scared of, falling short and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But then when I was about 28, a friend of mine sat me down and said, what do you want to do with your life? and he made me put a stake in the sand and say, well, that's what I really want to do. And so I started doing that, and I think it took me. So I was kind of a late bloomer. I released my first album in 1992, and I don't know how old I was then, in my 30s anyway, mid 30s, and but I haven't looked back. So I've been full-time musician since 1992, and the musical journey of just being a folk singer or a songwriter, always for various reasons, mostly financial, I've tried to find other things, other ways of making that work, and so that's taken me down some pretty challenging paths that have helped me grow in ways that I never imagined, and have been a real gift to me over the years. And so music has I still love to do my own stuff, and I'm still writing and recording and that kind of thing. Not touring so much now, but it's just led me to a lot of related journeys. But it's all built around songs, and songwriting.
Yeah, well, over 500 original songs, and probably more than that if you go back to all of the other types of songs that you written over the decades as well. So songwriting is one of your things, and you're very good at it. You're gifted at it, and you help others do that. And we're going to learn more about that over this conversation here. But thank you, Lowry, for sharing a bit of a backstory here. So were you born and raised in sort of British Columbia, or did you move there recently? Or tell us about your locations.
Well, I was born actually in Pakistan, in Lahore, Pakistan. And we lived there. We didn't live just for a couple of years, so it wasn't, it wasn't a long time. And then I grew up on the prairies, really around in Saskatchewan, mainly till I was 12, and then we moved to the Maritimes. I went to high school in New Brunswick. And then, really kind of, there was always a fair bit of traveling back and forth. And so I was back and forth. I was working in the ski areas, and then I went back to university in Halifax. And I never really kind of settled on anything. I went to, there's 5 universities in Halifax. I went to 3 of them. And I didn't graduate with anything, but I had a pretty wide, I had a lot of experience, everything from, music courses, classical and experimental music, to doing a furniture design course at the art college, to philosophy, English. I had a wide range of stuff. And so for me, my passion is learning. I just love to learn.
Yeah. A little bit of similar to a Steve Jobs kind of story, where he was in school, but he was interested in other things while he was in school and taking calligraphy or whatever have you. And
really?
Yeah. So tell us a bit more. So it seems like you enjoying your kind of British Columbia, and who wouldn't, being on the West Coast, nice and warm and beautiful scenery and all the stuff. You do a lot of boat rowing. I mentioned that in the bio, and we're going to share a bunch of photos of that as well, I'm sure. But tell us about how you discovered rowing and how that factored into your music. Even you actually play music while rowing on the ocean there.
Well, I usually put the oars down and to pick up my guitar, but I've been, when I'm shooting videos all the time to, just to have little tips for people, or to share songs or something. And it's, instead of doing it on against a white wall, or, even here in my kind of messy looking studio, being able to take people on a journey and to share some of this beauty with them. And, it's really kind of just a way to kind of take care of people, in a sense, give them a broader experience. They're going to hopefully listen to what I have to say, or they're going to listen to my song anyway. But also, if, I'm very lucky to be here to have, there's my rowboat. It's, that's when it didn't have its name on it. Now it's called the Ship of Dreams. And That's a little bay that, there's my daughter, and we're on a little dad and daughter picnic there. And this beach is just like a 15-minute row across the bay from my place. Yeah. And this boat is a 16-foot sculling rowboat. So it'll go, 4 or 5 knots. It's fast. It's super stable. I can go out there in big waves, and it's the best exercise you can get. It uses 80% of your body's muscles. So I bought it intentionally so that I could take people, partly because I wanted to take my guitar out and shoot videos and take people with me out there, which I couldn't do as well in the kayak. Couldn't play guitar in the kayak. But also to stay really fit. I'm 67. I want to, be strong and healthy well into my 90s. And my neighbor here is 83, and he's got a similar boat. He gets 100 days a year with his boat, and he's been doing that for 20 years. That's my girlfriend, Janelle. We row. She likes to row as well. And we row everywhere and go for happy hour to the beach. And it's a really important part for me of my life to be able to be outside and not just go to the gym, but to get my fitness in a way that also nourishes my spirit.
Yeah. And of course, the videos and the photos that come out of that activity is just awesome. It's just like so creative and so colorful and peaceful, serene and beautiful. I can come up with so many more adjectives, but tell us a bit more about what you're doing with, I'm going to start with this thing called the Power Hour. Tell us more about that, and perhaps let me know if you want me to play a video clip or bring in a particular photo, but that's one of your projects through I guess through COVID, but maybe you might have started that before COVID.
Well, I had started it just before. I actually started it in January. I was on a call with some people one time, and I was talking about how I had created this power song for myself. I don't know if I have any video of the Power Hour or any photos or anything there, but the Power Hour is something that I do on Friday afternoons normally, but today I'm not doing it. I'm doing this with you instead. But normally at 3 o'clock, it's kind of a little happy hour that I do, and anybody's welcome to come. And I usually have a special guest. I've had quite a few of our friends from CAPS. Stephanie Staples was my guest last week, and Scott Armstrong, and people that I discover whose work is really, amazing. There's a guy in New Zealand named Bruce Ross who helps people get in the flow. That's what his whole life's work is about. And when I find these people that I think have something really remarkable to share in terms of helping people become more, have more meaning in their life and have more joy in their life, and break through barriers in their life. That's really what I'm passionate about. And so the Power Hour is just a way of kind of supporting that. But the power songs themselves are really like an affirmation, like a musical affirmation. But one of our friends, our mutual friends, Monique Casey, was actually suggested the idea to me of writing a power song, because I was going through a challenging period in my life and doing. And she said, "Oh, maybe you should do affirmations." And I said, "Well, I've done affirmations, but I find them, a bit kind of hard to believe. So, to say, I'm living in abundance when, or all that kind of stuff, when it's not. You look at the evidence and that's not what's happening." And so she said, "Well, why don't you write a song?" And so I did, and I wrote this song that goes, "I got a house on the water and someone to love. I laugh and sing and work and play. I'm living in the flow, helping people grow. Joy and adventure every day." And I didn't have a house on the water, and I didn't have someone to love, and work wasn't going that well. But what I found about singing it was like making this declaration. But the fact that you weren't just saying it, I got a house on the water, so it became the melody. As you know, Dune, you're a musician. The melody has such power, right? If you say somewhere over the rainbow, well, it doesn't do much, but it's somewhere over, right? And if the melody doesn't go somewhere over the rainbow, it goes somewhere, right? So when you add a melody, and I write the melody with people, it's a collaborative experience that we do together. We write their song together, and we talk, and I listen, and I ask them what's working and what they want more of, and I take notes, and then we start writing their song. But the melody that we create is something that will lift them from a sense of, of despair. And basically what, there's like the red zone, which is all of those kind of things that don't feel good, anxiety, fear, perfectionism, the inner critic, all the doubt, all that stuff. And that's where people spend 80% of their time, overwhelmed, stressed. And to get to the blue zone, which is contented, peaceful, hopeful, optimistic, you need to get out of your head and into your body. And when you have a song, it automatically, music is one of those things that will very quickly take you into your body. So people started saying to me, "I want a power song." So
I want a piece of that
I wrote
action.
a whole bunch with people, and they loved them, and they loved the experience, and it was a pretty powerful and life-changing experience for people. So I just thought, well, I want to keep doing this. So I built a website, and I've been putting it out there as one of my offerings. I think I just wrote my 26th one of the year. So so that's something that I've been enjoying, and it's really built a lot on the kind of thing that I did when I was doing workshops with kids, and I was doing team building workshops with organizations and stuff to help them reconnect to a sense of purpose and what matters, what they're
yeah. And for the folks out there, every time you see Lowry on, I don't know, social media or his certainly Facebook page and whatnot, he often would have his guitar on. And he would have his guitar on right now if I didn't tell him that this platform that I'm using here for broadcasting through Facebook doesn't do the guitar justice at all. And so as a guitar player, a fellow guitar player, I advised him of that. And we decided we're going to play you some clips rather than live is what Lowry would have preferred, because he's just at one with that guitar there, aren't you?
Pretty much, yeah. So I've been playing since I was 11, so that's 10 years now, right?
Well, you know what? I'm going to bring in some more photos here, my friend. But you mentioned a website. I'm going to actually bring it up briefly for our viewers here who may wonder where that website is located. I presume it is, certainly there's your main website. I'm going to just go there right now.
Sure.
Yeah. So all right. And let me just correct that here. It's at Facebook. When I go directly from Facebook, let me just go to the website. There it is.
There's the homepage. So that will take you to info on my speaking, on my keynote. It's a motivational keynote called "It's Your Life, Make It Sing." And then there's the middle one there is my music. It's songs and videos and that kind of stuff. And then the other one is PowerSongs.ca, which is the workshops that I facilitate, and for both for organizations and conferences, for theme songs and for individuals.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pull that one up as well here. PowerSongs with an S at the end, .ca.
Yeah.
And so as I pull it up here, I'm going to go ahead and share it. And yeah, very cool. So again, the idea is that you're enabling a whole bunch of people going through the experience of songwriting, of really creating a powerful vehicle, creating a powerful mechanism that allow them to kind of put themselves in that mode, but also maybe share with others as well who would benefit from learning their power song. Just kind of sharing out themselves.
Yeah. Well, the songs apply to everybody. I wrote a song the other day with a woman who had just gone through a cancer operation and, was just trying to stay positive. And the opening line of her song, we just used this affirmation that she'd been using, which was, "I am strong, I am calm, I am well." Mm-hmm. And I just thought, this is something that everybody, I'm going to do a video of it because it's such a beautiful song. And then the last line of it is, "And I'm beautiful inside and out." And so, it's such an amazing song, and you write them for individuals, but of course they could be of value to anybody. Right.
Now, you've also done this for organizations as well, where you actually have teams, and teams are in the room, and you facilitate the writing of their song, their team song, their department song, their organizational songs as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the point with those is always to write something that has some depth and some power. So to really, and to create a conversation with them where they're really talking about what do we stand for, what matters to us, What do we want people to know about us? What do we want to remember about ourselves? And how do we want to see ourselves? Because a lot of people, they think, oh, well, I'm just a bookkeeper, or I'm just, we're just this, but, they're doing so much more. Bookkeepers are like the backbone of a business, and they allow business people to sleep at night and to take care of the things that they're good at. And they need to see themselves as taking care of business in a way. So that's an example where, I'm always trying to help people do that. I wrote one for the Saskatchewan Nurses Association. Actually, you could share that one if you want, because I write them for conferences. And I used to write whole songs, but what I found is that it was more useful for people to have just a short song, which
like
I call
a jingle,
power song,
like a jingle,
yeah.
Vision and mission statement has nothing on PowerSong.
Well, it doesn't, because mission statements, nobody can remember them, and it's because they're from the neck up. They use these big words. I mean, and even affirmations. This woman I wrote a song with one time told me that this affirmation that she'd paid money to receive, and like the words were like, I mean, you couldn't hardly pronounce them, let alone remember them. And it's just like, how is that going to affect change? Because, I think if we're going to affect change, we need to embody, the beliefs and the new beliefs and the things that we have to take on. We need we got to be firing on all cylinders, right?
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you have that link handy, but I have a link here called PowerSongs for Associations and Conferences. Are you talking about that one?
We have one that says, what's your legacy, SRNA?
Okay, wonderful. I will bring that in.
An ad. We wrote this song for them. I wrote it online with the board of the Saskatchewan Nurses Association. We spent about an hour on Zoom, wrote this song, and then I recorded it here with my friend Jamie Bowers. And then they did a slideshow to promote their conference. And then we sang this. They played this thing all weekend long at the conference, and we used it for the, for the award ceremonies, little bits of it. I mean, it just got, and people said, it's just so wonderful to have this song because it brings us all together. And it really was, they had this I thought it was kind of an intimidating tagline for nurses, what's your legacy? It's like, we don't have enough pressure already, right? But we got this beautiful line in the song. And of course, everybody comes and they think, I don't know anything about songwriting, and they're kind of, a little fearful, maybe annoyed that they're having to do this. But then they start to contribute, and you realize, people just have so much to offer. And somebody came up with this line, the lives you touch every day, will you lead the way? What's your legacy? And wow. It was just like, talk about bringing it down to a doable thing for someone, right? So I love this song.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to hit play. Please confirm if you can hear the sound, Lowry, and if you can't, I will definitely fix it for you. And because let's.
What's your legacy? What difference will you make? What does your heart say? And what's the path you'll take? All the lives you touch every day, will you lead the way? What's your legacy? What's your legacy? What's your legacy?
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Tell us a bit more about how they came to engage you in doing this. Do you have a backstory to that?
Well, I was the closing keynote for their conference, and so when they were, so I just said, well, since I'm going to be there anyway, it would be so cool if we could close. You have this great tagline, "What's your legacy?" And it would be really cool to make it unforgettable and to help people connect more to it, make it more something they could really relate to. And they'd spend a lot of money on, conferences do on bottles with things and a lot of sort of paraphernalia with this tagline on it. And if there's one mistake that I see that most associations and really most businesses in North America make, is that they don't understand the power of audio. I mean, we can all still remember the jingles from, A&W or all these ones, but I seem to have to educate people all the time about the power of audio. They just don't get it, that if you get an earworm and it's stuck in your, it stays, it stays in your head forever, but it also instantly identifies you with your brand. It also lifts people up and gives them this beautiful experience of you as being, let's all go to A&W. I mean, how does a corporation that's selling food that, could kill you develop a warm place in our hearts? Well, it's through the song. Mm-hmm. It wasn't through the graphics. Yeah. It's the audio that does it. Even that silly bear that they used with the thing, the silliness of the audio, right? And there's a guy.
Have you seen that movie Jaws? Jaws, the shark. Yeah. Sharks.
I never saw the whole movie, but I know but you're probably talking.
So here's the thing. That was the first movie I've seen when I came to Canada. First movie I saw was actually Jaws. It was just on TV. It was, and imagine Jaws with that musical.
Yeah. It's got a pretty that's pretty intimidating entrance into Canada there, Dune.
That's how I came. I came to Canada, landed, went out to Westlock, and my brother-in-law just turned on the TV, and it was like Jaws, and it was kind of a scary thing. At first, I thought it was about dental health, but anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, but that whole idea of audio is it's just it's just a really powerful tool. And I wrote a song the other day for the CAPS Foundation. We're both members of the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers, and the foundation wanted to have a way to really give people a better sense of what the foundation's about, and that encourage people to contribute, but also to encourage people to use it if they need it. And so there was about 7 or 8 of us that got together on a Zoom call, and in 90 minutes we wrote this, I think, a really beautiful song for CAPS that they'll be releasing at their conference, and they'll just do a slideshow. It's not like the thing when you have great videos, you don't need to spend a lot of money on when you have great song or audio, you don't have to spend a lot of money on video. Mm-hmm. Like that slideshow that the nurses did cost nothing in terms of the visuals. Mm-hmm. But it had a lot more impact than if they had beautiful video and had a kind of a kind of a little tinkly free off the internet audio, right? Mm-hmm. So I spent a lot of time trying to educate people about that.
Yeah, well, wonderful. Thank you for being on a little bit of a mission there.
Shouldn't have got me started, Dune.
to combine the sort of the mental side of things to the heart side of things, to the video and audio and music, and bring it all together, and
the spirit, nourish our spirits. Like that's all the songs that I write. They have to nourish your spirit in some way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So tell us that I'm going to go way back to your early days of the music career. You had mentioned that you did some touring and whatnot, and your dad rightfully kind of cautioned you about the danger of the modest income that might come in the early years of musicianship and whatnot. So that's all good advice. Tell us, unpack that story a little bit for us.
Well, I use that story in my keynote talk because it's kind of funny, but it was kind of heartbreaking. But I kept at it, and then I went traveling. I ended up living in Western Australia for a few years, and had a lot of opportunities there to do music more than ever. And Perth on the West Coast is such a remote city. It had a really amazing, very self-contained music scene where there were just a lot of opportunities to play and to develop your skills. And I played, 5 nights a week in different bands, everything from a sci-fi band to a traditional kind of British folk act to I don't know, just my regular singer-songwriters, and quite a lot of variety. And so it was, even though I was pretty half-hearted about claiming to, be trying to have a career in it, I got a lot of experience. I studied melody writing, violin, and I really put a lot of energy into developing my skills. So that's a picture of Kerrville, the Kerrville Folk Festival in Texas. And I don't know if people have heard of Steve Gillette. He's a fantastic, legendary songwriter, really an amazing guy. And I discovered Kerrville in 1994, 95. And it's a songwriters festival. This would be their 50th year. It's 18 days long. It's held in the Hill Country in Texas. And it's just a mecca for songwriters. There's thousands of songwriters that camp on this ranch. And I usually go down for, a week or 10 days kind of thing. And after the main stage closes, all over the ranch, we have these song circles. And this is an afternoon circle where Steve Gillette gives people feedback on new songs and stuff. But there's just this opportunity to hear so many amazing songs, and the songs are so well, they're just, the level of songwriting blew my mind when I discovered it, and the level of integrity and truth and craftsmanship in these songs is so inspiring. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, it's kind of, once I started doing it, it's all these doors open and people say, oh, you got to come to Kerrville, or, would you play here? Or we discovered, well, Kerrville was where I first heard about house concerts. Mm-hmm. And I started doing, when I came back from Texas, or when I was down there, somebody said, oh, would you come and do a house concert? And it's like, what's that? And it was great, 25 people in somebody's yard. Mm-hmm. And so then I started asking some friends that were coming to my shows. I said, would you like to do a house concert? And they sort of said, what's that? And I told them. And one of the people, my friends Janet and Greg Ritchie, they this year would be their 25th annual house concert. They've done one for me every year. Mm-hmm. And in Winnipeg, I started doing them there, and I probably did 25 of them in Winnipeg. And some of those venues are still going and have nurtured other songwriters over the years. I've done them, in Washington, D.C. and everywhere, all over the world, really.
So if I was to ask you, what are one or two lessons that you learned, big lessons that you learned being a full-time musician where you didn't have another career? It was like music, doing music was your only thing in terms of career. Were there some lessons that you gained from that sort of factored into your current career path?
Well, I think that you have to be as creative at creating work as you are at your craft. Mm-hmm. I think you need to keep, exploring new ways of using your music, or reaching, of making it pay for one, but also giving value to people. The other thing is to keep developing your craft, and I keep going to songwriting workshops I've worked with, and vocal lessons. I think there's a picture of Renee Grant Williams there, who is just a fantastic vocal coach. She teaches Garth Brooks and Lyle Lovett and Faith Hill and Miley Cyrus and all these, amazing singers. And I had a couple of lessons. I've had a lot of singing teachers over my years, but I had 2 lessons with her that completely transformed the audience response. People were saying, Lowry, is that a new song? I don't think I heard that, and so, sometimes just very simple things that really, really great teachers in songwriting and all kinds of skills that I love the idea of keeping on growing.
Now, you mentioned a photo. Tell me when I am at the
that's
photo.
Lisa Ashman there. Lisa is, that's in Nashville. She's playing with a friend just in a local cafe. Lisa is the woman I've written the most songs with. We've probably written 35 or 40 songs together. And I actually have one that we can play. But Lisa's written, she used to be a physicist, and one of the first women to physicist in the U.S. to teach, and she taught for 20 years at the University of Santa Cruz, and then decided to become a full-time songwriter. And she's written, last time I saw her, 8,000 songs, and that was a year ago. So as far as I know, she's probably written more songs than anybody in the world.
Yeah. So I'm guessing she's good with numbers, and counting a song in is not a problem.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. She's pretty remarkable woman, and prolific. I mean, I go to her house she's come up to Gibson's a few times to write, and we write a lot together in Texas. But when I've been to her house in Nashville, I'll come for a writing session at 10 o'clock in the morning, and there'll be somebody leaving,
I love that Gibson. Yeah. Is that a jumbo?
Who knows? Yeah, probably. She doesn't play an instrument. She doesn't play. She only sings.
Sings and writes.
All genres.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's had songs recorded by Art Garfunkel, Chicago, quite a few people, lots of songs in Sex and the City and TV shows.
Tell me the name so I can type it on the screen
Her
here.
name's Lisa Ashman, ASCHMANN. Lisa Ashman, yeah.
ASCHMANN. There's kind
of a cool video if you wanted to share one of our songs. It's from the Kerrville Folk Festival. It's called "Not Just a Little."
Yeah,
and I think you got the link there for that. And I was singing it down at the river. We always go to the river when we're in Texas and hang out. And there's these girls swimming. I had a couple of my friends. None of these people had ever heard this song, and a couple of my friends started singing it with me. And then there was these two women that were in the water swimming, and they started doing moves and singing along behind it. It was a pretty fun little video.
Yeah. What was the title again?
It's called "Not Just a Little," and it's not a happy song, but you wouldn't know about it from the video.
Some songs are like that, right?
Yeah, it's all in how you sing them.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the list here that you have. I see it. I'm going to bring it in. But before I bring it in, I think you have another.
That's Renee Grant Williams there.
We'll come back to that for sure. But I'm going to bring in the video here, and we're going to enjoy it together. Okay. And so the video itself here is.
That's my buddy Jim Woodyard. He's one of the best producers I've ever worked with. Fantastic, super talented guy.
Nice. Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and bring it in here, and we'll enjoy it together, my friend.
And I've got Megan McLaughlin and Joyce Woodson singing harmonies on this video.
Nice. So I'm just going to make it. Oh, look at that. This could be in a movie somewhere that I used to watch. Let's see here. Lots of tropical kind of scenery here.
Well, this is a Texas river. These are spring-fed rivers in the hill country, and it's this beautiful clay sandstone bottom. The water is just sparkling clear.
Wow,
incredible! Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring it in here.
There we are.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your head up. Act like it's all. And if they ask you why, I'm doing fine. They don't need to know. No one needs to see you cry. You don't need no help to get you by. When your heart breaks, it's not just a little more than you can take. It's not just a little, not just a little. When your world turns upside down, and there's no way around. I think I was missing. Go right through the middle, go right through the middle, go right through the middle to the other side. There we go, to the other side. Come on back. Stronger than you. If you let it feel, the scars show where you've been. That you're real, unreal, I tell you, because life can hit you hard They can beat you like a drum. Hey, there's nothing here to prove you're not the only one. When your heart breaks, and it's not just a little, more than you can take. When not just a little, when your world turns upside down, and there's no way around. What you gonna do? Go right through the middle, go right through the middle, go right through the middle. Go right through the middle, go right through the middle, go right through the middle again. One more, hey, go right through the middle, go right through the middle, go right through the middle. One more, so right. Go right through the middle, go right through the middle, go right through the middle to the other side. They ran through the middle. Take a bow, everybody. Take a bow. Don't hold your head in the water too long, though. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, here goes again. No, I can't hear you.
I muted myself so that.
Oh, there you go.
That was a lot of fun, hey?
Oh yeah, it's so fun. Yeah, 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 love those guys.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to get to maybe give a viewers a sense of what your keynote look and sound like, and how people experience your keynote presentation. I'm going to cue up the keynote. That's the title is Who You Become. Tell us a bit about that before I roll the clip there.
Well, this is just a short excerpt from it. Just talking, it's kind of just one of the key messages that I want people to understand, that, you know, it's easy for us to think that we're not making a difference, you know, especially as an independent singer-songwriter. For sure, for me, that was, you know, that kind of cup of despair that we have so close at hand, ready to drink from, the idea that why bother? Why am I doing this? You know, it's kind of like that. And you know, I have an exercise I do in my keynotes called Compliments That Matter, where I get people to think about some compliment that they've received from somebody that's really meant a lot to them, that they found really affirming in some way. And sometimes it's not, and I get them to write it down, and we put them in a basket, and I'll read them out. And it's really incredible when I've done this with teachers, I've done it with nurses, I've done it with quite a few different sort of occupations. And sometimes they're just simple things like, you know, you made it, thank you for believing in me, or thank you for you made it hurt less. Just simple little things that people said that could nourish our spirits, but also point to what it is that we want to do with our lives. Mm-hmm. And for me, it came when a woman sent me a note on email saying, you know, we went through a really hard time. Our son was killed in an accident, and, you know, these have been very difficult years for us. And I just want to tell you how much comfort your songs have brought us through this time. And I was just, you know, I was so blown away because, you know, one, to have had that impact, and that my songs could have served somebody in such a, you know, an important and personal way, but also because we have no idea, you know, if she hadn't sent that email and I'd been sitting there thinking, you know, it doesn't, you know, what am I doing? It has no impact. you don't know that. And most people don't know. We don't know. You don't know, Dune, you know, the impact that you're having by doing these things with the talks. And it happens all the time where a simple word will be something that stays with people. And so that's kind of what I was talking about in this little clip.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Thank you for introducing that. I'm going to bring in the clip here, and we'll enjoy, again, a bit of an excerpt here that from your keynote. Let me know if you can hear the sound as well. You can give me a thumbs up.
We can never know the impact that we have. We can never know the impact that we have on people's lives. It doesn't mean that we're not making a difference. And the thing is that when we continue to grow and we make marginal improvements all the time, it's great for your boss, it's great for your colleagues, it's great for your kids, it's great for your relationship. But the person who it's really greatest for is you, because it's who you become. We get to keep it. So next time somebody asks you, who do you think you are? Even if it's not intended as a question, maybe you could just take it as one and say, I'm so glad you asked, because I'm just in the process of discovering that. When you step into the spotlight and you open up your heart, even if you tremble for a moment, don't quit before you start, 'cause you don't want to miss this, you can't lose. I believe in you. If it isn't you, who else could do this all? If it isn't you, then who? Hey, who? You could walk away, I won't blame you. Play it safe, play it small. Maybe you can rise to this occasion.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Dune.
Fantastic. So, I mean, someday you must pinch yourself and say, how did I manage to combine the music and all of the talents in that and all the background in that and your inspiration for making a difference and inspiring people and give them tools and whatnot and be able to bring it all together in a way that is very not only productive but really heartwarming as well. So you've got it. You've got something here, my friend.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I know. I feel pretty blessed. You know, it's interesting though, because I guess, you know, as a singer-songwriter, most of your life, you kind of feel desperate. You know, you're waiting for the phone to ring. And basically, if anybody asks you to do anything or suggests you do it, I just say yes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like it might be fun to play something from one of the kids. A guy did a documentary on my kids program, and there's an excerpt on that. But I always, when I started getting invited to write songs with kids, well, I didn't even get invited. I just got invited to do a presentation on songwriting, and I decided I should go in and write a song, you know, with these kids, and then it, you know, developed. Then it seemed like, okay, well, that was pretty good. The song turned out well, but nobody got to hear it. So now I need to do a show. I need to do a concert in the afternoon so the kids can perform their song. And I was just, you know, like I was a navel-gazing folk singer. I was not capable of entertaining 500 kids in a gym. And man, it nearly killed me. I always say that the first 400, that's Renee Grant Williams, the singing teacher in Nashville that I was telling you about, that just so transformative. Yeah, so, you know, it's always stepping into these things. So with the kid shows, yeah, the first 400 were the hardest. And they never really, I don't think they ever got that easy. You know, you have to be so focused to deliver a song in a short period of time. There's even now when I'm, you know, if I'm doing a session with somebody, it's like, I know I gotta be there 200% to, you know, to deliver.
Yeah. As they say, I'm kidding here, but Spider-Man's uncle says, with great power comes great responsibility. And so when you have talents and when you have a big vision of wanting to impact people, there's a lot of work in carrying that vision through, isn't there?
Yeah, it's not like a walk in the park, which is good. That's great. But yeah, it's I mean, the challenges are great, but they're not easy. Yeah.
Hey, tell me the name again so I can get it on screen here for our viewers.
This is Renee Grant Williams. And she's a very interesting vocal coach, because she's the first coach that I've worked with that didn't focus on vowels. She focuses on consonants.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so, whereas I spent literally thousands of dollars over my lifetime on vocal coaching, and I'm sure, I developed more power and tone and all that stuff as a result of it. But when I came in to do a session with Renee, it was she's all about consonants. It's, I felt kind of thrill. She said, all the meaning, and if you think about it, like what happens if you're whispering, it's all consonants. And the really great singers are really, it's not where I would have been taught before to say, I love, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I love, and there's, a two thing that happens with the vowel. She said, no, it's I love you. And the vowel just disappears. It's all L and V. Right, I love you. I love you, and it's not like this kind of enunciation that's kind of stilted and false and uptight. It's how you speak naturally, but saying it with paying more attention to the consonants and letting the consonants carry the meaning. And what I discovered that was so transformative for me, and I feel it right now, is that my tendency would be to speak too fast and mumble a little and do those kinds of things. And especially if I'm not feeling very confident, then I could, slip into monotone or something. What I found with doing what she did was that my level of presence would rise. So if I was feeling self-conscious or nervous, when I started to pay attention to the consonants when I was speaking, and people can try this, my pace would slow down, but I felt like more fully present and more fully like I had something of value to say. Like it's incredible. And I tell you, after one lesson, I had 2 lessons with Renee, and they're about 4 years apart. After the first lesson, people were saying, Lowry, is that a new song? I don't think I've heard that one. It's like, I've been playing that song for years. Yeah. And all of a sudden people were hearing things,
Yeah. If I may, by the way, did I get the name correctly spelled here?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Wonderful. If I may, what I got from what you just said there is that while vowels are very important in opening things up and whatnot, and consonants are really almost like have a grounding or rooting kind of effect. It sort of grounds you.
Well, I think so. Yes, very much so. Yeah. And they carry the meaning. Right. Like, as I was saying, if I was whispering, you wouldn't hear the vowels at all. That's where it's all there. Right.
Yeah. So the vowels almost becomes the quote unquote filler. It fills out wherever it needs to fill out. But the consonants are the things that ground the meaning, that ground the sentence, that grounds the song.
Well, and also, I'm sorry.
That grounds your speaking a little bit.
Well, in the sense that they are very connecting. Right. And so with really great singers, now I never thought of like John Denver as being a great singer, or James Taylor, or some of those people, but the really great singers, that's what's great about them, is their ability to make you feel like they're just singing to you and you're hearing the words. So it's really the difference between giving a performance, which is not really a connecting thing as much as connecting. Right?
I hear you.
And so that's what I want to do with my songs. I want to connect. I want to make them feel like I'm just speaking. I'm just saying to you, hey, you've got a friend. You've got a friend. When you're down and troubled, you need a helping hand. We don't want to hear when you're down.
So a bit less showy and a more conversational,
more connected.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that. Let's browse through a few more photos here before we move on from these photos. I'm going to go ahead and
Oh, you know what? I have a picture of me and Joni Mitchell. That would have been a really good one. So there's my buddy Jamie Bowers,
Mm.
and I had this little band I put together in my old studio for a Canada thing. Budge Shakti and Paul Dwyer, the drummer. These guys came together. Jamie's an outstanding musician. He does all of the sound bites for global TV news, and he has for the last 25 years. Every time you hear "doo-doo, bop bop," that's one of Jamie's things, and he basically
Which one is Jamie in this photo?
in the foreground with the bass.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he produces quite a bit of the stuff that some of these songs that you're hearing. Yeah,
Cool.
and that studio.
I just want to comment. It looks so British Columbia with the roof being almost cedar kind of like, or pine anyway, right?
It is. It's one of those. And you know what's interesting? That house used to be. We bought that house from the script writers for the Beachcombers, and that was originally the Beachcombers writing studio.
Wow.
But I put 3 skylights in the roof, and redid the whole thing. But yeah, so it's got a bit of a history.
There you go. Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, that's my daughter Jill. When on one of our early tours. She was, I don't know, probably 5 months or something there. I think that was in North Dakota or somewhere. I did a tour out across the prairies when she was just a babe. Yeah. Now she's becoming a helicopter pilot.
Yeah, wow. Flying high.
Yeah.
The true sense of the word there.
Yeah. That was in New York. Mark, now, of course, I'm on the spot. So this great studio that where I recorded a couple of songs a couple of years ago, beautiful studio that it'll come to me. But
yeah,
that was fun. And that's Jim Woodyard, who's produced a lot of my stuff. He owns Creation Studios in Vancouver, and what fantastic songwriter. In his own right, he was he was on the same label as Valdi when he started off, but he ended up taking more of a production approach, and he has probably the best sounding studio I've ever worked in. He records on Radar, and he's got the most amazing ears of anybody, and incredibly big hearted and so talented. Plays everything super well.
So let me ask you a different question. When you work with all these top-notch musicians and people that are at the top of their field, is there one or two commonalities that you observe among all of these great folks?
Yeah, it's too bad I don't have some pictures. There's some other guys, Tom Carter and Daryl Hawk, I did stuff with too. For me, they're the people who believe in me, and who value the songs, right? That's what. I think in the early days of my career, I worked with people that really kind of blew me off and didn't respect my work. And it was not good. Right. And then I started, when I did my first album, I connected with my buddy, Tom Carter, who's since gone on to become quite a successful painter. He and Daryl Hawk, his partner, they loved the songs, and they just said, there's so much in these songs, and you need to have that kind of an environment to nourish your ability to keep moving forward, and to find the people say, oh, it should be more country, or it should be more this, or it should be more commercial, or something. I wanted to write songs. I wanted to write the songs that I wanted to write, and the beauty of being an independent artist is that you don't have to compromise on that, right?
Yeah. Now, what you mentioned there, I just want to bring out, highlight or spotlight the idea of you want to spend your time with the right people. If you hang around with the wrong people, hopefully you would learn and figure that out and find a way to surround yourself with different people who are right for you and your journey, right?
Very much.
Sounds like you found that for sure.
Yep. And the audiences find you. I always noticed when I played at festivals over the course of a weekend, the audience that would kind of start to follow me from one showcase or whatever to another wouldn't be that big, but there would be certain people that would really resonate with what I was doing. And it wasn't always, it wasn't always the biggest attraction, but it was, people that you felt you really connected to the songs, right? It's very heartwarming.
Yeah, wonderful. It's we've seen this beautiful panoramic photo before. Let me just display that again for our viewers. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish you sent me some photos where you were on there rowing and.
Well, if you play the circle, the video.
Okay, we'll get there.
Circle, that's in my boat. You can see the view from my house. And
nice. We'll definitely bring that up in just a moment here. Yeah. I'm just gonna go. Oh man, is this your backyard?
That's my front yard.
Yard. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's my doors open all the way across. And, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Wonderful. Yeah. Fantastic. I can just feel the jingles floating around that airy, spacious, bright area.
Yeah, maybe you need a power song too, Dune.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I manifested. This is down in St. Louis. I wrote a theme song with this organization. It was like a multi-level like our health product kind of thing. So we did it as a team building thing. They brought me in, and these guys, none of them, of course, had ever written a song. We wrote they had a tagline, which was, we're changing the world one life at a time. I think that was what it was. Anyway, we wrote this song. We're changing the world one life at a time. Nothing's going to stop us now. Don't let anybody steal your dreams, because there's no limit to what you can do. And anyway, so we wrote that in 2 or 3 hours in St. Louis, and it was a good excuse to have a trip down there.
Nice. Yeah. Loving it. And what kind of guitar do you typically play? I see.
I got a couple of handmade acoustics. One was, there's some pictures of Bob Holroyd, the guy building the one that's on the wall behind me was built in 1985 by, there's Lisa and another friend of ours she's from Louisiana, wonderful songwriter from down there. There's me working on my old house. I had a 100-year-old house that I renovated, and that's the one we bought from the Beachcombers. And I've since sold it. And built this place, but yeah, it was a lot of work. There I'm with Lisa and Kevin Fayard. He's a fantastic songwriter, also based in Nashville. His day job is he's a bailiff, and that's on the ranch. And that's Joyce Woodson. She's kind of a cowboy. Her songs are like cowboy
nice
based thing. She's from California.
Cool.
That's me and Janelle on Somes Beach.
Nice. I see the big tree stump there. Hey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They float in the big storms, and it takes a big storm to get them out.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I did a house concert last summer from my backyard, and I just put it out there, and then I got complaints from the neighbors. We got 3 complaints. So, yeah, I know. It's like, really, you got to be kidding. Yeah. So I'm not doing them anymore.
Yeah. People are in their routine, and kind of,
I just,
that is a beautiful, beautiful stage.
No kidding, eh?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Now you mentioned a video clip. I'm going to bring it in right now, and we can kind
of. Yeah, and you'll see this is basically the view. Some of the video. My buddy Ben Lowe, who shot a lot of my videos, shot some of this footage from up above and from the beach and stuff.
I'm trying to find it. Tell me some other words that might be.
Circle. There's nothing else there.
Hold on. Let me see. I found it. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's a song from my Borderland album.
Okay, well, give us a bit more of an intro while I bring it in here.
Well, I wanted to write this song. Lisa and I wrote this. It was I wanted to write a haiku, kind of a really simple kind of a thing. And it's a song about the changing of the seasons, about the passing of time. It goes, river flows, comes and goes, leaves fly, hillsides turn to gold, autumn chill on the wind, I forget the rest, but little short phrases like that.
Nice. I'm going to bring it in here.
Okay, so today's the equinox, September 21st, and if I got a song for you, it's all about the changing of the seasons. River flows, comes and goes, leaves fly, hillsides turn to gold, winter chill on the wind, daffodils on windowsills bloom again. It's like a circle spinning round and round, a big wheel rolling on. Oh yeah, it keeps on moving, never touching down. Big wheels turning, it's a long, long way around. Old men sigh, babies cry, rocking softly, time goes by. It's like a circle spinning round and round, big wheel rolling on, keeps on turning, never touching down. Big wheel is turning, it's a long, long way around. And the years go past, gone so fast, gone before you know. And the years fly past like, I can't remember the line here, where do they all go? River flows, comes and goes, leaves fly, hillsides turn to gold. It's like a circle spinning round and round, a big wheel rolling on. It keeps on turning, never touching down. Big wheel is turning, it's a long, long way around. Hey, yeah, hey, the wheel keeps turning, it's a long, long way around. Hey, the wheel keeps turning, it's a long, long way around.
Love it. Fantastic.
Thanks, man.
Wow. So obviously you should another similar boat or kind of a different thing where you sort of zoom in on you there, or is it just a zoom from the house?
Just a zoom, yeah.
Wow, that was awesome.
No, that was all me. Yeah, all the same shot. Yeah.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit more. I want to know a little bit about how you came to join CAPS, the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers, as we mentioned before, and what your thoughts on, kind of just as the organization, just share a little bit more about your experience with CAPS.
Well, CAPS has been really a game changer for me I went down to the U.S. and did a bunch of training. People kept saying, Lowry, you should develop a talk, with songs in it. That'd be a really cool thing. And so I did end up doing that, and I got quite a bit of training. But it was, until you become connected with an organization or with other people, it was similar in a way to going to Kerrville and starting to meet so many other songwriters, because it's when you're alone is something it's hard to really have any vision or whatever. But CAPS is a community where it's like-minded people who are out there changing the world and making a difference, and who are just speaking. That's what they do. So there was a lot of mentoring that meant a lot to me and helped me develop more skills, more business skills, more places to ask questions and grow and stuff. And just, it's very welcoming community. And it's just been a tremendous gift to me to be able to have so many new friends that are all speakers,
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that. We've met at CAPS, certainly. And
exactly. That's
we actually met at CAPS at the side of a stage just before I got on to perform some music, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we're not too many of them are musicians.
Yeah, exactly.
We share that.
Yeah. And so let me bring in another video clip here and tell us about Vertigo and just beautiful, beautiful scenery here as I look at it.
It's not sure which video you've got. That one. You know what? This one's on the boat again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is, there's a woman that she's actually the daughter of my neighbors that live across the street. Mm-hmm. And she was visiting, she and her husband have a sailboat and they're sailing around Europe. Mm. And they do videos from there and talk about sailing and stuff, but she plays violin. And I said, we should go out in my boat and, we could do this song together. So she did. And it was Maya Brokey is her name. So yeah, except I noticed I had my seat in the middle where I usually am if I'm alone in the boat. I should have had it further forward so the whole bow of the boat's sticking way up. But her husband is her dad paddled the canoe, and her husband is a really great videographer, and so they circled around us and shot this video while we were singing this song.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's listen to a bit of it.
Cool.
That I was on a sailboat, high up in the rigging, holding on for all my life, surging through the crashing waves. Close my eyes, so afraid to slip, scared to lose my grip. I'm so afraid of falling, so afraid to let you in. Oh, and I try to let it show. My heart begins to spin. It feels like vertigo. Tonight I took a walk down where the river flows, crossed a bridge that rises above a canyon far below. Each time I looked over the edge, that chill took hold of me again, and I felt a kind of thrill. I'm so afraid so afraid to let you in. Oh, and I try to let it show. My heart begins to spin. It feels like vertigo. give your heart, when you give it to someone else to hold, there's a leap of faith. You're gonna have to take, and it feels like flying in the air. So who's to say that they'll be there at all? Will they catch you when you fall? Begins to spin, feels like vertigo.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing these. Well, what is going to be like 2 hours if we keep going here? And I'm going to keep going, my friend. Unless you have a meeting you have to be at. This is cool. This is fun.
Okay, cool.
So tell us a bit more in terms of the. Let me just see here. So you do corporate keynotes, and do you do some training as well? You certainly do performances and a lot of original music writing and songwriting and recording and helping other people writing songs. Did I miss out anything, my friend, in terms of your key focus in work?
No, well, I don't do trainings. I'm not a coach. What I do is the team building part of, writing a song together is a really powerful way to get people on the same page, so to speak, and create harmony and, more understanding and to connect people to a greater sense of purpose and that kind of thing. And, leave them with a tool that will continue to inspire them. But I don't go in and do individual coaching or that kind of stuff. I tend to.
That sounds like training to me.
It's a one-off. It's a one-off. It's I wouldn't be there for a month. Yeah. But what people might find interesting is kind of my old life. Doing there's two things from workshops that just kind of show the process a little bit in action. Well, why don't we do, if you want to, I think there's a video there from the theme shop. I used to call PowerSongs. I used to call it the theme shop. And there's a short.
Let me find it. Is it called Writing Power Song on Unconventional Leader Podcast?
No. Well, that one's kind of an interesting one too. That's
workshop.
The visual one. There's
I found it.
And that shows it in a group setting. I was writing with the Burnaby Public Library. They had the library service, which delivers books to people that are, shut in for whatever reason. They can't come to the library in person. And so the idea was to write a song that would bring together the library management and staff and board and the people who were on the receiving end of these books, but also the families and their support people and stuff. So it was the first time that they would ever have been together in one room. And we wrote this really, I think, a beautiful song called There's a Story at My Door. What they would do is they would, deliver a box of books every month. They would choose books for these people that they thought they'd be interested in. So a lot of thoughtfulness and generosity of spirit going into this.
Correct one here?
This is it, yeah. So this is us writing their song. It shows it's kind of an edited version that shows the process.
Okay, let me roll the clip here.
Yeah. You can just go from, yeah. How many people here have ever written a song or at least attempted to write a song in their life? People that decide what's going to be a hit are the listeners.
On the deck in the sun.
Yes. In the raw. That's too vivid.
Wondering if any of these words might fit into giving us a title. Let's take this one, Good Company. Yes.
Well, welcome world is a knock on the door.
Oh.
Oh, I like it.
What about service of love?
They'll think you're hookers. Looks like.
That's it.
Shall we do it? You guys happy with that one? Like, da-da-da-dum, ba-ba-ba-bum. Is there anybody who's never heard that? In songwriting, we use that all the time. Who let the dogs out? Right? Three Blind Mice. Da, 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 da. Does anybody want to sing There's a Story at Your Door?
There's a story at the door.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to record that.
There's a story at the door.
All right, let's give a round of applause, you guys. So, let's all sing that. There's a story at the door. Oh, and it can't wait for you to answer. That's pretty beautiful, isn't it? There's a story at the door. All you have to do is answer it. I'm backed inside an apple box. Inside an apple box. Ba-da-da-da-da-da talks. Store. Let your imagination soar. We'll keep recording it. Here we go. Hey, there's a story at your door. All you have to do is answer. Just what you've been waiting for. Just what you've been waiting for. Let your imagination soar. There's a story at your door. So I almost want to have a little hesitation. Yeah.
I think the speeding between the third line and the fourth line is awkward.
Yeah, there's something not quite working there, right? So we'll take 5 minutes, stretch a little bit. If you guys get some ideas, jot them down. Inside an apple box, delivered with a smile, another month of new best friends to discover for a while. Inspire us to dream? Yeah? Okay, go. Guys, have a round of applause. They know.
At my door. Make it all personal.
Okay, there's a story at my door. Let your imagination soar. Let my imagination soar.
Hallelujah, brother.
Now we're going to record it. Everybody can come in on this side of the tables. There's a story at my door. All I have to do is answer. Let my imagination soar. It's just what I've been waiting for. There's a story at my door. Packed inside an apple box, delivered with a smile. Another month of new best friends to cherish for a while. There's a story at my door. And all I have to do is answer. Let my imagination soar. Just what I've been waiting for. There's a story at my door. There's a story at my door. There's a story at my door. Well done, you guys. Congratulations, all.
Well done.
Yeah. Right. So we can listen back if you want to hear a little of it. Yeah.
Fantastic. That was awesome.
Thanks. Yeah.
So obviously you have a process and you facilitate and you listen to people and you encourage people to participate and you kind of build the best of what the room has to offer. And certainly you're not trying to drive it anywhere other than adding your kind of value to the mix there, about kind of again, a true facilitator, I say.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, you got it. I mean, it's their song, right? It's got to be true for them. So, but you know, obviously, the melody has to work, and you want to use words that work and rhyme and aren't too crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I want to ask you another question, and then we're going to go to some more video, my friend. So again, everybody, you've been listening to Mr. Lowry Olafson, and Lowry, of course, is living in the beautiful British Columbia there. In fact, on the island there. And
well, actually, I'm not on the island, Dune. I'm on Gibson's. The Sunshine Coast is on the mainland.
Oh, okay.
But it's a ferry ride because of the mountains. You just catch a ferry, but you can't, there's no road access because of the mountains.
Oh, really?
But we're actually only about a 40-minute ferry ride from Vancouver.
I see.
Vancouver Island's 30 miles that way.
I gotcha. Cool. Well, that's so you kind of like at the Rockies corner there. You got sort of up in the Rockies.
Coastal mountains.
Wonderful. I'm gonna tell me which video you want to play. But before we go ahead and play that video, one of the questions I have is, do you have a story of a group or a person where you can share where, you know, the whole songwriting process and perhaps it might have surprised them a little bit? Any story of people being surprised at the journey that they took with you during these workshops?
I think every single one. You know, that's transformation is kind of one of those things that excites me a lot. And what I'm used to is people coming in with a very high level of skepticism and annoyance. And like, you know, a couple of times I've been brought in into situations where there's a lot of conflict. I've written some theme songs for some towns that had like new branding, and the people weren't very happy with the new brand, and or, you know, there was a split on that, or into organizations where there has been a lot of tension between people, a lot of politics and stuff. And but invariably people come in thinking, I know nothing about songwriting. Why am I here? You know, and I would say the people that book me, are always the early adopters. They're the CEO or your executive director or whatever that is kind of visionary and says, wow, this is going to be terrific, right? But I can't tell you the number of times where I've had conversations with the CEO who says, you know, they'll be on the phone and say, oh, this sounds amazing, I'd love to do it, and then they'll phone me back an hour later and say, oh, my team won't do it. They don't want to sing, they don't. And it's like, well, the point is not to do something that makes them comfortable.
Right.
The point is to do something that they've never done, and it's going to make them feel kind of even the stage, right? Yeah. And so, so the people that come in with that level of, you know, really kind of being unsure and pretty vulnerable, and, you know, wondering if they have anything of value to contribute. And so the transformation that occurs as they realize just how vital each and every single one of them is to the process, because we're voting on things and we're looking for like a word that just like, give me a word. What's a word we might want to have? Well, okay, well, that's, you know, these safe things, and they gradually have more safety. And then what starts to happen is like they have strong opinions.
Yeah.
Like, no, I do not want a song called that. And we're voting, and, you know, it can't be, and this word should change. No, it should be you, not them, or, you know what I mean? It's like people really kind of sort of come into their own.
They take ownership of it.
And they find out what they're capable of. And a lot of people say, you know, I used to write poems, but I stopped doing that. And so we can, on a personal level, reawaken, rekindle stuff that maybe they let go of a while ago.
Yeah. So in other words, you know, your message just now is similar to what I believe in. And I say this to a lot of people a lot of groups that I train. I say, you know what, if you want to just learn incremental learning, then there's going to be things that make sense right away, things that are going to be comfortable, things that you agree with. But if you want to learn anything that's what I call transformational learning, transformative learning, then it's going to be a little bit counterintuitive. It's going to be a little bit, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I agree with that. But if you hang on for a little while, you might be surprised of the transformational learning that takes place, right? Mm-hmm. So thank you for sharing that as well. Now, I have a clip here that I want to roll, and it's the clip about the rain. I think it goes, I don't care if it rains.
I don't care if it rains, yeah. This is out on our sailboat. My daughter, when she was just 10, and video by my friend Ben Lowe, who wonderful filmmaker. We used to have a 33-foot pilot house sailboat before I downsized.
Yeah. I'm going to bring it in here, and let me know if you can see it and hear it in particular. And here we go.
I know. We should drop it back.
Pass you this.
I don't care if it rains, let it rain, rain. I got a song stronger than a hurricane. So I don't care if it rains, and I don't care if the sun don't shine. Got a little girl, she's mine, all mine, and as long as she's there, I don't care if it rains. There's a love in my heart can brighten up a cloudy day. It's gonna take more than a thunderstorm to wash that love away. I don't care if it rains, let it rain, rain. I got a song stronger than a hurricane. So I don't care if it rains. I don't care if the cold wind blows. I'll drop the anchor in a secret cove and we'll go below. So I don't care if it rains. There's a love in my heart can brighten up a cloudy day. It's gonna take more than a thunderstorm to wash that love away. I don't care if it rains, let it rain, rain. I got a song stronger than a hurricane. So I don't care if it rains. I got a love stronger than a hurricane. So I don't care if it rains.
Love it. Fantastic. Wow. So, it's I just can't say enough. Beautiful scenery out there. Like the marina is beautiful, and boats and guitars and family. What more can you ask, right? And music.
Yeah.
And I must say, all the songs that we played today have been your original songs, right?
Yeah, that's all I do.
Wonderful. So if you were to count all your songs, you're probably well past 500, probably close to 1,000 by now, with all of the different other songs that you wrote before you engage people and sort of collaborate with them to to write the power songs? You know, if you count all the songs, I'm guessing approaching 1,000.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've written probably 500 with as facilitating and workshops and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I have 9 albums. So, you know, there's
Yeah.
11 songs or so on an album.
Yeah.
So there's probably 100 there. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have 1,000, but, you know, probably 750 or something like that. But, you know, it pales when you're working with somebody that's got, you know, at least it's pretty close to 10,000 now. Right? So,
yeah, Lisa. Wow. Now, let me ask you this other question before I show some more. When I reach out to you and I said, you know, Lowry, would you like to come on for an hour and a bit to kind of chat about music and speaking and training and just inspiration and things? Were there topics that you want to discuss that we haven't gone to yet? I want to show a couple more videos yet, and I have a couple other questions for you before we wrap up. But were there topics that we haven't gotten to yet, my friend?
No, I don't think so. I'll probably think of it after we get off there. But you know, you're doing a great job of asking all the right questions, Dune.
All right. Okay. Well, I just want to make sure that we don't get off of here and realizing that I've been kind of so focused on the patterns that I somehow miss a particular part. But let me bring in a song here, the kids show. Tell us about the kids show. And so do you do a lot of kids kind of?
No, I don't do, I never do them now, but I did, you know, I did them for, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7 years, something like that. And there's a video, if you want to show some from the song. From that one. That's another. Ben did a documentary on the program, and I think if it started at like 16:45 or something like that, you can catch. There'd be about 8 minutes. If that's not too long, you get a sense of the process and the fun. But it really required me to step into somebody who I didn't know I was capable of being. You know, both to and in terms of managing my energy and you know, kind of getting more exercise and eating strategically and resting and taking time for renewal. And, you know, because I was doing like 1 year, this thing took me by surprise. I just kind of started doing it, and then all of a sudden the local district booked me for 14 shows, and I thought, oh my God, how am I going to possibly do that? And then the next year I got 85 bookings all across Western Canada, and I got a Canada Council grant, and, you know, to take it all the way from basically the Manitoba border to the Yukon, the Queen Charlotte's everywhere. And it was just intense. I remember 1 month in the winter in Saskatchewan, I wrote 22 songs in a long, you know, 5 days a week. And then you drive to some motel in the middle of winter in the dark, and, you know, try to find a motel and a place to, you know, get something to eat. And so it was really extremely, it pushed me to the limit of everything that I was doing. But it was, you know, it was a pretty neat opportunity to be able to share the experience of creativity with kids. Because when I was a kid, I kind of thought either you were good or you weren't. And, you know, you'd write something and write it down, and it should be brilliant. Well, you know, the kids, we would write something down and be like, you know, somebody had a better idea, and it's like, oh, well, that's better, let's do that. And it got them to see that it was a process, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like you had to be instantly brilliant, that we were all working, and then we'd build a whole thing, and then we'd say, you know, it doesn't really work, it's the wrong thing. Okay, let's start again. And we'd throw it out and we'd start again. And so in this video, we've written a song for Halloween. It's too bad we don't have more time, because, you know, Ben's sort of covering a lot of territory in terms of showing the kids. But what's fun is it does show, you know, a bit of the process with the kids in the classroom, and then of me playing this violin thing that I do and have fun with my loop recorder, and then a show that I did in Vancouver at the Centennial Theatre where we had about 250 kids from 5 schools performing their songs. And I forget what the end is, but anyway, it's kind of nice what he did. Excuse me, how we put it together.
Well, let's enjoy it together here, folks.
Yeah, this is Forsyth Elementary in Surrey.
Put like a scream in it.
Oh, hey, you know what? Let's put a scream at the end of the verse or at the end of the chorus. On this Hallows Eve, All right, like that. Do you want to do that? I think we need some quicker notes. How about this?
What it was for me was a place to go, a place of solace, and a place that holds you. But then it also became a place to come from, to reach out to others. This is who I am, and this is what I care about.
I think it needs more. Does it need more? All right. I've got just the thing. Oh boy, money's a hard, eh? I know. I've got just the thing. Closer.
What was that deep in the night? Sounds so strange to me.
That's what I want most to be able to give the kids. A feeling for this marvelous domain of song and music, with its amazing capacity to sustain and comfort us.
What was that gave me a fright?
And at the same time be a springboard outward, a way of connecting with others, with the world, coming from your heart.
I don't know what it could be.
I know the need.
What was that deep in the night? It sounds so strange to me.
I've done over 300 workshops now with kids. Somehow, what I thought was just another detour away from my original vision has instead become almost a perfect reflection of that vision. I'm constantly working on new songs, constantly performing for live audiences. It is that original vision playing out, but it's less grandiose, more intimate, and much richer. It has become so much less about how I can affect the world, and so much more about the joy of letting the world affect me.
And so now, without waiting any further, please welcome Lowry Olafson.
Hello, hello, hello.
So nice to be here, and so nice to see so many familiar faces. This is so great.
If every country in the world could understand each other's ways, Mr. Pizza drives his car
children have taught me humility, and in such a gentle way. I no longer see myself as the guy at center stage, entertaining a passive audience. Now it's about being able to create an experience where all of us get to be at center stage.
Let's have another round of applause for the songwriting class. The cemetery is very scary. You never know what might be hidden. But it's jumped out. It's not a beast. I've been running from a kitten. Yeah. What was that in the night? Sounds so strange to me. What was that gave me a fright on this Halloween? What was that gave me the night? Sounds so strange to me. What was that gave me a fright on this Halloween?
Wow, that was fantastic.
Thanks.
That was fantastic. You know, you have so many parts to your career that is really inspirational, my friend. Really inspirational.
Well, beats working.
As they say, right? If you enjoy your work, it doesn't seem so much like work, right? Yeah. That's beautiful.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's my friend Ben Lowe. I got to give Ben Gedlow. He's really is an amazing filmmaker, and everything that he's done a bunch of videos for me. I Don't Care If It Rains one and several others, and he just puts so much heart in all of his stuff. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the Unconventional Leaders podcast. You care to give us the backstory on that before I bring it on?
Sure. Well, this is Heather Parody, her name is, and she does interviews all the time with people that are basically have innovative ideas about all related to personal growth. And she was introduced to me by somebody, and when she heard about what I did, she said, "Oh, that sounds really interesting. Would you be willing to write a song on the spot for me on the podcast?" And I said, "Sure, why not? You know, we can do that." And so we did. And she was very game. You know, she was kind of not very shy about sharing what she wanted for her life, and it was real fun. So this is, you know, it was pretty fast, but I edited it down so it looks like it's even faster.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it in just a moment here.
But she's based in Atlanta, Georgia, and she has she had Seth Godin on one time. She's had some great people on her podcast, Unconventional Leaders.
Yeah,
check her out. She's on.
So this year, the word possibility has been.
Yeah, let me go ahead and bring it in here, and we'll kind of experience together here.
So this year, the word possibility has been really big for me because I'm like, I want to create from a place of possibility as opposed to a place of realism and what's realistic and that limits other people put on me. I want to be crazy, Lowry. I want to be like the most bat crazy dreamer you've ever seen and actually go after the really nutso things that don't make sense. So if you can make a song out of that, you are a god.
What would it look like for you to be seen?
Unapologetic is a word I love. I want to be unapologetic. I want to be bold and free. Free is a huge word to me. I love the word free.
I speak my truth and I'm bold and free.
Yeah.
Life seems crazy and wild, but I'm going after my dreams. So I'm just getting started.
Unapologetically me.
Unapologetically. Okay. I'm just getting, okay. I speak my truth. I'm bold and free. Might seem, I'm going after my dreams unapologetically. How about that?
Oh yeah. There you go. You are so fast. Like this was just like the fastest.
I'm opening up to possibility. Okay, how's that?
Woo! Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
That's so cool.
So then melodically, I speak my truth. I'm bold and free. I'm going after my dreams unapologetically, right? So I always record my ideas on my little voice memos because I can't remember them otherwise.
This has to be one of the coolest things we've done on the podcast. This is so fun.
All right, no worries. I love doing this. Crazy to me.
Might sound crazy, but that's the key.
Because crazy's the key to living, to opening up, to opening up possibility.
You are so good.
Well, so are you. But you gave me the word. You gave me the word, right? I wouldn't have got that word on my own. That's cool. Why I love the collaboration of creating these things together, right? So I speak my truth. I'm bold and free. I'm going after my dreams unapologetically. I'm just getting started. Because, what does it say? Because I can't even remember writing. Because crazy is the key. I'm just getting started. Because crazy is the key to open up to possibility.
Woo! I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. So, it's probably not the greatest melody in the world.
But for me, that's mine. And so you're thinking oh, it's not perfect. But for me, it speaks to me so much because those are my words. Those are words that came out of my mouth that mean something to me.
Totally.
And so it's like something I can own. Oh, that's my song. You know what I mean?
That's the most important thing, that you own it and you feel like this, and it allows you, it just talk about supporting yourself in getting past that. It's too late for me. I'm 30. Yeah.
There are so many people listening, and I know that they feel so stuck and they feel suffocated and they feel just bound to something. Mm-hmm. And this idea of possibility, of being able to tap in and do stuff that they love and make a living from it unapologetically and not feel guilt or shame or self-doubt, et cetera, et cetera.
I just feel like this is the most powerful tool I've ever really been able to offer people in terms of helping them reach their potential.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And experience themselves and stop saying, I could never. And it's not just about, entrepreneurship and career. It's about, loving yourself as a person and creating more joy in your life and creating, the place where you want to live and the lifestyle that you have and being okay with that.
Be freaking bold, friends, and just try and go after it. It's such fulfilling work, and it's the calling on your life. Oh, man. Yeah. I just want to thank you so much for not only coming on the show. I'm so grateful for that. And writing that song, that literally made my day. It was so cool. So good. Lowry, thank you so much for your generosity and your time. It was an honor connecting with you.
My dreams unapologetically. Just getting started. Crazy's the key. Open my heart to possibility. I'm gonna open my heart.
Fantastic. That was fantastic. So tell us, when you go into, let's see here, a session like this, do you prep? Is there any prep that one could do, or do you just draw on your experience while working with people?
Well, other than, kind of like something physical, going for a row or making sure that I'm kind of clear and in a high energy level. You know what I did today that was really fun? I have this inversion machine that one of those hanging upside down machines I bought at the West Edmonton Mall when we were on tour years ago. And every night I get out in the motel and pull this thing out, and the guys in my trio wouldn't go on it, but I still love it. And that's a really fast way, if you do inverted poses in yoga or anything like that, really good way to get yourself breathing and get yourself into a high state of energy quickly. But for PowerSongs, I usually, if people I'm writing a power song with somebody, I'll ask them to send me, to do some reflection and think about what they want to create more of in their life, and maybe send me some words and phrases and some songs that inspire them. And so I have a little background but lots of times I've written, like I wrote one with Wayne Lee, who's our CAPS member, who's a magician and a amazing guy, a
hypnotist as well.
Yes. And we just we're on the call saying, would you like to do it and stuff. And by the time he told me a couple of things, it's like, well, why don't we just write the song? And we wrote the whole thing in, half an hour, just on the spot with no preparation. So it's really more for me, kind of just it's about listening, really deep listening with people.
Yeah. It's almost like musicians jamming. You have all kinds of experience, all kinds of techniques and skills and whatnot. The best thing you can do is not going into a jam with a whole bunch of lack of sleep, so that you're not tuned in properly. You're kind of misinterpreting. So as you mentioned, it's more like a mental preparation. Just getting to that zone, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. And, jamming's the same. It's so many jams. The problem is that people aren't listening.
Which, by the way, is
and nobody's listening at all. And so I love that idea about listening more.
Yeah, right? And in fact, that is a key skill for life and for leadership and just for organizational. Again, any kind of collaboration is. One time I was doing a project management course. I teach many different business and management and leadership courses. And one student on the first day, he asked me, "Hey, Dune, if there was a way to become really quite a bit better at this field here, what would it be?" Right on the first day, we just finished our introduction of names and who's in the room. And so I said to him, you know what? There's many different skills and tools and techniques, but listening is probably going to be your most important area. We all understand it, but we need to practice it just like anything else. We need to rehearse it. We need to kind of, again, exercise that listening muscle, if you will, right?
Yeah. I actually, Lisa and I wrote a song called Teach Me to Listen. It's on my Borderland album. And it was one of those songs, it was kind of an embarrassing song to write in some ways, but I still really love it. It was, that line, there's a verse that goes, as a child, they taught me many things. As a child, they taught me to read and write. As a child, they taught me many lessons. Learned anyway, but I never learned to listen. Teach me to listen. I can't remember the lyric, but
yeah. Hey, I'm going to bring in one more video, and then we're going to start a journey of wrapping up.
Quite a while here.
Yeah, we're going to be on a journey of wrapping up together in just a moment here. There's something here called the Melikian family webpage. Tell us about that.
This was a family. Some of the PowerSongs I also write with families or with couples, to honor an anniversary, that kind of thing, or a special occasion. And families I've written a few with families that become kind of a bonding experience for the family. These guys live in Phoenix, and Anna's Portuguese, Anna Malikian, and she's a wonderful woman, a psychologist and executive coach. And for coming from Portugal, harbors were the places where, it was the idea that you would go out into the world and maybe, we're a seafaring, powerful nation, but you always came back to the harbors. And so the song that we wrote for their family was called Our Harbor is Our Home. And after we wrote it, they did, I can have kind of an upsell with my PowerSongs where I can do a studio version, record it, make it longer, add, another section or repeating refrains and an instrumental, make it a bit longer. And this one, and then you can put slides over it. So it becomes like a video vision board. So that's what I did for these guys. We created a video vision board of their song. And so
nice. I'm going to just play a little bit of it, and then we can continue. Yeah.
We love to live it up. Annabella, Jim and Puff, ice cream, steak, and wine. Adventure every time. We laugh and cry and play. We count our blessings along the way, whether we're together or alone. Our harbor is our home. adventure every time. We laugh and cry and play. We count our blessings along the way, whether we're together or alone. Our harbor is our home. Our harbor is our home. Together or alone. Is our home.
A coastal feel to it.
Yeah.
We love to live it up. Annabella, Jim and Puff, ice cream, steak and wine. Adventure every time. We laugh and cry and play. We count our blessings along the way, whether
These guys, they sing it when they're driving every Friday. They have a cottage up in Flagstaff, and they go, and the first thing they do is, play the song on the way. And Anna was saying one day their daughter said, "Mom, we didn't play the song yet." She was pretty happy.
Becomes a tradition.
Yeah, tradition. Yeah,
Love it.
yeah, because they write it together, right?
Listen to that. I was going to play just a bit of it, but I just got involved in it and just get carried away by it. It was a great song.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. So there's an actual slideshow that they sent me all these slides, and
nice.
It's on the video on the same page. I make a web page like that for people, and then they have access to it. That's them and their dog, and so
Nice.
then it's like a slideshow, and then I make a video of them singing their song for them.
It's like the modern day coat of arms, eh?
Yeah, I guess that's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. There you are in your place again here.
Yeah.
Did you say that this was your front yard here? Or not
Well,
backyard?
it depends. There's a street out there and there's an ocean out there. So
Okay.
depends how you
I
look
hear
at it.
you. I hear you. I hear you. So let me ask you a couple of other questions here as we wind our way to wrapping up here. And so again, folks, you've been listening to Lowry Olafson, and just a multi-talented musician and speaker and workshop facilitator, and really the bringing all the things together, the head and heart and the music and melody and words, and a bit of a what I'm going to call a multifaceted craft. Frankly, you're living a lot of people's dreams. Musicians who would love to be able to do these kinds of things, trainers and speakers who would love to be able to bring their music into it. So very unique for sure.
Yeah, I'm very grateful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as we wrapped this up here, I'm going to do it in a couple of different ways. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just first of all, thanks our viewers who have tuned in to watch us live here. And for those who tune in to watch the recorded version later, thank you for your time. Thank you for spending your time with us here. And thank you for, again, comments that you might provide along the way here. And we'll monitor those comments there. But as we take this home here, my friend, I'm going to let you wrap it up however you like to wrap it up. So you could summarize it. You can make some concluding statements. You could maybe share our song if you like to do a cappella. Again, this platform doesn't do guitar very well, so we'll probably stay to a cappella, if you will. But again, thank you, folks. And until we meet again, take good care of yourself, take good care of one another. And I'm going to turn it over to Lowry here to take us home, as I'm going to actually bring up those photos. I'm going to bring them up, and so they're going to be flashing by as you wrap us up here. And take your time, Lowry.
Okay,
and when we're done, hang around in the green room for a minute or two, and I'll give you a high five in there.
Okay, if you want to play, I don't know if you want to play some music out, but I think you have that recording we did in New York of "If It Isn't You." I think I sent you Is it called If It Isn't You?
There's a video, there's an audio clip that I'm going to bring in as well. So
clip, yeah.
Yeah, it is. You bet, absolutely. I was going to do that after, so I'm going to do that.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you. I'm going to have you kind of speak and wrap it up, and then after that, we're still going to hang around for this music here. So yeah.
Okay, so Dune, this is so cool what you've been doing. Dune, you've been doing an interview like this every day basically since COVID hit, and it's just what a gift, a generous thing. I mean, your studio is fantastic. People can only see all of the lighting and sound gear and camera gear and stuff that you have in your there. It's just in the skill level that you are bringing to this and sharing so many people's stories. So I'm honored to have been a guest on your, on this, and thank you so much for having me.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Yeah. Now, I'm going to ask you one last thing. If there's a sort of a concluding sentiments that you want to leave our folks with, do you have a few words of, again, summarizing the conversation and encourage them to go a certain way or keep something in mind?
Yeah, I guess, I like my tagline is, I think sums it up and says it all. It's your life, make it sing.
Wow. You know what? It's so powerful. I'm going to put it on screen here and let me know if I got it right. Tell me if I got it wrong so that I can correct it.
No, you got it right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to play the music. I'm going to actually wait until it's done. It's about 3 minutes or so, give or take. So again, thank you so much, Lowry.
Okay. Awesome, man. Keep up the good work.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the music here. And
when you step into the spotlight and you open up your heart, even if you tremble for a moment, don't quit before you start, 'cause you don't want to miss this and you can't lose. I believe in you. If it isn't you, who else could do this all? If it isn't you, then who? Oh, then who? You could walk away, I won't blame you. Play it safe, play it small. Maybe you can rise to this occasion, high above it all. You don't want to miss this, you can't lose. I believe in you. If it isn't you, who else could do this all? If it isn't you, then who? You've been working all your life for this moment. You're ready as you'll ever be. So go up there and stand there like you own it, for all the world to see. 'Cause you don't want to miss this, you can't lose. I believe in you. If it isn't you, who else could do this all? If it isn't you, 'cause you don't want to miss this, you can't lose. I believe in you. If it isn't you, who else could do this all? If it isn't you,